Welcome to the 2019 Jimmy Awards live stream brought to you by the Broadway League Foundation and dear Evan Hansen. It's intermission and we are having a great time. Co-hosting this with me, thank you for joining us,
Hello.
is Shelley Williams, who is the director of the revival of Aida. I'm like, this is fantastic to have you here with me. She brought us Rent. You were the associate choreographer.
Yes.
For that as well, and also you have been a coach for kids just like the ones.
Yes, I've coached the Jimmy Awards 4 times, so tonight is thrilling for me and I'm so happy to be back.
What do you have to say about what you're seeing up there on the stage and what they're going through, just to give us, like, put us in their heads and their bodies? I can't believe they're high school students.
My heart is bursting for them. They are doing a magnificent job. They're so poised. The week of rigor that they have had with rehearsing these new medleys, learning all of this new choreography, I mean, they've done it in 4 days. And hats off to Keisha and Van and Michael for putting them through the paces. And they are just rising to the occasion. They're doing an incredible job. If you're watching at home, I'm sure you are as amazed as we are. We were sitting together and just holding our breaths for them. They're amazing.
Yes. And my face hurts from smiling. Yes. So what does it take to stand out?
Well, being your authentic self.
Okay.
You know, I believe that if you are prepared, you're never scared. So you can see when the young people step out there and they are confident and they're not pushing and they're telling the story, I know that they know what they're doing and that this is just another wonderful moment in their lives. The ones that are a little bit nervous or pushing a little bit too hard.
You can see it.
Yeah, but the ones that are prepared, never scared.
So much talent. I can't stand it. Okay, Marla, Louis Saint, come on in. Thank you so much. Yes. So you are what do you have to say about what everyone is seeing out there? I know, they've been watching.
Yep, the live stream on Facebook,
Yes. Wait, first I want to tell everybody, computer science brainiac at Fordham right now, also has been spinning, she had a little bit of a hiatus. She's been working with Beautiful, the musical, the Carole King musical, and then also you won the Jimmy in 2015.
That's
so
correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What would you say to these kids out there?
The kids that are watching, everybody, all the kids, anybody?
Yes, the ones on stage, the ones at home.
Okay, so first the ones on stage, just be yourself, and I see plenty of that on stage up there. I'm like, I wish when I was here at the Jimmys, I feel like I was putting on a character. I'm glad, that's part of it, but bringing yourself to the character is so important, and I'm seeing that already. And for the folks at home, just trust the process, and also trust your teachers, trust your mentors, all of the people that are giving you the notes that you need to succeed. I think that's so important because sometimes you think, oh, I got this all on my own, like I'm up at the top. You really got to stay humble and make sure that you pay your dues to the people that are teaching you, for sure.
Do you remember what it was like for you stepping on the Broadway stage for the first time?
I sobbed. I did.
Yeah?
And seeing that video, Jeremy Fuentes, one of the New York nominees, when I saw him bawl, I was like, no, I know I cannot cry. This makeup is on my face. But I remember that exact feeling and seeing him cry on film, and it jerked all of the exact emotions that I had when I came on the Minskoff Theater stage too.
Well, you're an inspiration. Yes. You're making me start to cry thinking about that. I'm telling you, I know this is their passion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We also have here, thank you so much, Marla, Stacy Mindich. Hi. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Hi, Stacy.
Dear Evan Hansen, 2 times Tony winner. What do you say? We were talking about what do you say to the young hopefuls out there? The ones here and the ones out there.
Oh, well, you've already accomplished so much by being on this stage, by having the courage, and by finding out what you love to do. That's the extraordinary thing about tonight.
I'll tell you what's incredible, Stacy, is that you have produced over 20 shows, and for all the people out there who want to be a part of the business as a storyteller, as a producer, can you please give them some advice about what it means to be a woman producer in this business?
I think the great thing about being a producer in this business is being surrounded by talent all the time. And perhaps as a woman, what I think I can lend to the landscape is that I'm a good listener. You know, I'm a mom, and moms are good listeners, and I am always keeping my eyes and ears open for great talent and for people who may not be obvious but have that spark inside of them.
What about your stomach watching all of this? I mean, I was butterflies. You're like, ah! What about you?
I can't sing and dance, so it's very nice to sit in the audience, but it is actually one of the most, I think it is the most thrilling night on Broadway, more thrilling than the Tony Awards, because all these people have so much promise to be fulfilled, and tonight is the beginning for so many of them. It's really my favorite night on Broadway.
It's a room full of dreams, and you've made so many of them come true with Dear Evan Hansen. It's been incredible.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Thank you. And thank you for sparing a moment to talk right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're having a great time. Still talking about this. What do you say we toss it to some more about Dear Evan Hansen?
Yes.
And we'll be back in just a couple of seconds. So see you in a few. That's all right, right? Yeah. Welcome back. We're still in intermission, and I'm with Shelley Williams, who's bringing back Aida, directing it, and so that's pretty cool. And then Marianne Hugh, who we were just talking about My Fair Lady, was in My Fair Lady, which I saw, which was my Christmas present. Could you talk a little bit, since you've been a coach 4 years, you've been a coach 2 years? 2 years. Coaching these high school students on what to do. What do you say to them?
just try to encourage them to be themselves and find that authenticity we were just talking about. Really, if they can leave here with one tool in their toolkit or something that they can take away from the week, then I'm happy.
Right? And if they're having fun, can you tell if they're having fun?
Yes.
Yeah, the coaching sessions are
They're fast and
they're
furious.
so fast. You probably have about 10, 15 minutes per kid per day. So
Yeah.
you have a lot to do in a very short amount of time. Like,
my
imagine
heavens.
that.
Yeah, so for a coach, it's really finding the way in with them. If something doesn't work, you have to find another way in or another way of translating it so that the nominee will understand what it is you're getting at.
Go through a side window, go through the chimney, knock
Yeah.
on the back door,
Yeah.
something that resonates with them.
Yeah.
Are you amazed? Because I am. These are high school students, 16, 17, 18 years old. What kind of instruction have they had prior to this? I mean, kudos to the teachers
Absolutely.
and the instructors out there. You're unbelievable, but a lot of it's self-taught. I mean, where do
Some of
they?
it is self-taught. It's all over the map. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, they all come from different parts of the United States. It's a whole potpourri of different types of training.
One of the things that always surprises me in the most wonderful way is that is the most supportive room as each person is performing. Did you find that was that what
Yes.
this year again?
The thing that is most inspiring to me is they come here as strangers, and that they learn the spirit of collaboration, and they learn as a community to build something together. I do something on the very first day of coaching is I give them the Latin definition of competition, which is not against each other, it's striving together towards a common goal. So I try to leave them with that, because all of theater, as storytellers or theater makers, we do it all together and
Yes.
in company with a whole group or a whole community. And I really hope that they leave with that.
Do you think that clicks? Because I think that might be the most important thing in life, that you're inspired by people, that you're not jealous by success, because there's a lot at the buffet, right?
Right, but you can see it when they leave. You can see it, the difference from, you can speak to from the beginning to the end of the coaching. They've built something together. They've built relationships.
Yeah, it's every person. You could have all 86 people sing the exact same song, but each person's going to have their own spark. So once they identify what makes them special and what makes them unique, and they own that, they carry that with them for life.
What do you tell them in terms of finding their own authenticity? They haven't been on the planet that long, right? I mean, it's hard to figure out how to be just a person, and then to be a person playing another person on stage and being that authentic version. So how do they dig into that?
Again, I think it's different with everybody, but what I like to do is I like to just actually sit down and talk with them and actually get to know who they are as a human being, so that I can find my way in with the song.
A lot of times you can also learn a lot by the songs they choose. Because if you're choosing a song for yourself, it's a story that is personal to you. It's a song that you love for a reason. So sometimes the way in is about saying, why'd you choose that song?
Why?
What is it saying about you?
Or
And then
what did
kind
you
of-
love about
What
this
did you
song?
love about it? And then you kind of find how they connect to it.
Okay, talk about connection. Did you see in there the Times Square billboards piece? Let's go to that right now.
That's insane! I didn't know our faces were up at the Times Square.
Oh my God! We're in Times Square, baby! Woo! I love it!
You guys surprised? Yeah! A little bit. I mean, yes, a lot of it. Insane. This is my second time being here, and this is amazing. This is the kind of things that you see in dreams.
It's the dream to actually be on Broadway, so to see my face in Times Square is pretty crazy.
I've been in New York, but like seeing your face up there is like, I'm like famous. That's so weird.
I come to Times Square, often, right? And I've always looked at the billboards. I'm like, I want to be on that one day, and I'm doing it, man. I'm so happy to be here.
dream come true.
Dream come true. It's been incredible.
Honestly, it's just an honor that I'm even present with such many talented people, and to see my face and as well as these talented actresses and actors on the screen, it's amazing.
I have been to New York, but I've never had an experience like this before.
I just want to make my parents proud. And I did it. I'm on Times Square, baby. This is happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to the 2019 Jimmy Awards!
All right, guess what? We found some winners.
Yes, we did.
From last year, Andrew Feldman and Renee Rapp. You guys, congratulations on your continued success.
Thank you so much.
You might know what he's been doing, what she's been doing. Give us an update. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm playing Evan in Dear Evan Hansen. I've been in since the end of January, so it's going on 5 months.
And how old are you now?
I'm 17 years old.
And what do you say to these kids out there? Oh, that's crazy.
Breathe. You guys are amazing.
Good advice.
Yeah.
And what are you doing, and what would you say?
I am Regina George in Mean Girls on Broadway right now, and what I would say is also to breathe, very important, but just keep your cool and eat healthy and self-care.
Forever.
Yeah.
That's all great advice.
I need to take it too, so.
You know, Shelley was saying that. Speak to that about the
Yes.
self-care, right?
You know, we think of us as artists, but we are also athletes.
Oh, absolutely.
The voice is a muscle.
Absolutely.
We have to take care of our bodies the same way athletes. We do 8 shows a week. We do a double header for all the baseball fans on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Right.
We are athletes at the top of our craft.
And our brains.
Yes.
I try my best to practice mindfulness and meditate and just keep a positive mind every day, especially in the show that I'm in. It can get a little heavy, so it just to make sure I'm in the best possible shape mentally to tackle that every night.
For sure.
Are you a little worried that the high school students out there who are amazing are going to think that maybe they're going to have the kind of success that you have seen? I mean, you're still pinching yourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every day. But I mean, I think that's what's so cool about what has happened to us and all the other alums that are so successful is like this is very attainable. Like when you work hard and when you're put in this amazing position that this program does and that all the arts education does, it's attainable. This is a dream, and you're able to live your dream. You know.
Yeah, I had that worry too, though, that they would really feel that pressure, and I got to visit them on Monday, and we filmed a really fun video, and I just really wanted, like, my goal was, like, I want to make sure to nip that in the bud if they're feeling any pressure, and make sure that, like, they know that it's not super likely that this will happen the same way, the same right place, right time story that we'd had, but they seemed so in the right mind and here for the right reasons of just to learn and grow, and it was really incredible to see that in all of them. It was so clear.
Yeah, just being here is a success.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have a lot of love. They
And
have
we
a
just
lot
went
of
back
love.
and we just went back and talked to them and reminded them that they've already won.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Big
that.
time. Big time.
What about people at home? And you're going to talk about this, Shelley. You have a real message for people at home. What do you say to the folks there who are in love with theater, who are not here, who are teenagers, who are in their early 20s? What do you say to them?
You know, it's interesting. I think everybody has their right path, and you know, the things that are meant to happen will happen, and the universe has got your back. And I think that's probably the most important thing. Like you said, like you never know what is in front of you. So as long as you keep dreaming and you keep working towards your goals, anything can happen, and that's a huge part of it. And theater is everyone included. Theater is the actors, theater is the company, theater's creative, theater's backstage, theater's off stage, theater is support at home. It's a gigantic family.
Yeah.
There were a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And what would you say to folks at home
I
watching
think
and-
that just work as hard as you possibly can, and there's no reason why you can't get here. If you didn't get a job, go take a class. You know, just there's no limit to how much you can grow. And I would take, you know, we both took so many classes and did so many community theater shows and just worked our butts off to get here. Even though we're very young, we've worked just as much, if not more, if not less, of course, but than a lot of the people who are here on Broadway too. So
we got a long way to go.
Exactly, and we're still growing. I'm just learning so much every day. So there's no limit to how much you can grow, and there's no reason to stop.
How do you deal with failure? You might be the wrong people to ask, but how do you deal with failure, really?
No, that's the business.
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
The job is auditioning, and then once you know, the occupation as an actor is going to auditions and hoping for it. And when you actually get, you know, a job and you're employed, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But the job more than anything else is auditioning, and there's a lot of rejection in that. So you know, it's a muscle. You learn how to handle it.
Well, and at the end of the day, failure is only going to make you better in every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
So it's how you take it, and it's what you do coming back from that failure that I think counts and creates who you are and your path as a person.
And it's like what you said, the universe has got your back.
Right.
You know, we both had so many auditions after the Jimmy Awards,
course.
and we did not get a whole bunch of them, and now we're here in the jobs that we are meant to be in.
Right.
Yeah.
I will tell you one thing about, I was thinking about this as I was watching all of them out there and thinking about how they're feeling the applause and the love of 2,500 people in that night. It's the same feeling that when I sit behind the table as a director, I have all of that love for every person that comes in to audition, and I hope that they carry that feeling with them every time they go into an audition, that we're rooting for you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think about that. Often people think we're here to judge, but we are rooting for you every time you walk in the door. We want you to be the one, and maybe if you're not the one for that show, you're the one for the next show, but if you do your best audition, we will never forget you.
Yeah.
And same thing if you're not here for the Jimmy Awards, persevere, keep going. You know, if you didn't make it here, that doesn't mean anything necessarily.
No.
You could still be part of all of this, which is really great.
Yes.
We're very welcoming here in New York.
We are.
It's very true.
All
In this
right, well,
business, anyway.
So what would you say regarding dealing with success? I asked you about failure.
Yeah.
How do you deal with success?
I think stay grounded. I think especially in the position that we're in, we're working with people that we've looked up to maybe our whole lives. And so I think there's no better way to stay humble than to be working with those people and say, okay, how can I get to their level? How can I meet them? You know, it's that's the best way to not let it get to your head, is don't think, okay, I'm here, I got it covered. The work is just beginning.
Right. I think too, there's a lot of remembering who you are, but also like remembering the people that got you to where you are. Like we say this, I'm pretty sure, every day. I say it every time I get on stage. I wouldn't be where I am without my arts education in my high school back in Charlotte. I wouldn't be here without the Jimmy Awards. Like our families. Like there's so many people who are a part of the process that you can't think about it as only your success, because at the end of the day, I can't even count how many people have made this happen for the both of us. So it's not just about us.
Yeah, that's a good point. Continued success. I can tell you're having fun with it too, and that's the point, right? Yeah. Having fun with it,
Absolutely.
right? And helping other people.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you so much. Now I'm just going to hang out and talk to Charlotte.
Go have fun.
I know. Have fun. Bye. All right. Wow, that was great. We weren't even supposed to talk to them.
It was wonderful.
Is that fun? All right, so what resonates for you with what they were talking about? What would you add on to?
Those are two very young and grounded young people. It is wonderful that they are on Broadway at this time in their life. It is wonderful that they are setting a shining example of what is possible. And it's incredible that they're so gracious, having the success so young. I'm really impressed by them as they talk about this. They are surrounded by some incredible actors that are so much older than them, and they have the ability to learn from them, and their eyes are open to that opportunity.
You see the gratitude.
Yes.
People with gratitude are happy people, right?
Yes.
And they're having fun.
Even at my age, I have mentors. I keep people in my life that continue to teach me, and they were just speaking about that. They were talking about looking around and learning, and I think that is the most important thing.
Shelley, it keeps you young, right?
Keeps you young,
right?
yeah.
Right? All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the process behind the Jimmy Awards. Let's go to that story.
They are the best singers and brightest stars, chosen from among 100,000 high school students across the country, brought here for the finals of a competition that offers a head start like no other.
It's a competition, of course, but everybody's using it as a learning experience.
2 winners are selected, 1 actress and 1 actor.
I like Brooklyn when it rains.
Long Islander Andrew Barth Feldman won last year.
To be here now is so surreal, and I keep pinching myself every second.
Then he got discovered. Hired to star in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. So the next time I talked to the teen, we were in his dressing room.
Never did I ever think it would happen or happen this soon.
Now there are 86 young people looking to follow in his footsteps.
You see him, and it's just one of those feelings that you can do it too. Like, we're here. He was here. Why can't I?
Rehearsing for their big show, they look like the kids next door. but their talent sets them apart.
Who knows what you call it, but it's there.
She hails from Minnesota, but for the two contestants from our area, there's a bit of extra pressure to make us proud.
I'm freaking out. I couldn't imagine that I'd ever get this far, but I'm happy to be here, and hopefully that I can take something out of this experience and make the best of it.
It's just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm really thankful that I have the opportunity to be one of the Jimmy Awards participants.
All right, that was Sandy Kenyon reporting, and right now we're just in the intermission still waiting for the judges. Give me some idea what the families are feeling. I mean, all of these high school kids are attached to a family.
They're all attached to a family.
What are the families feeling?
Families who have spent so much money on lessons.
Oh my heavens, yes.
Families who have everything crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers, toes, everything.
Legs.
But I hope families that are incredibly proud, seeing their child out there, seeing their sibling out there shine, because no matter what names the judges come back with, it seems cliche, but each one of them are winners. They have gone through an incredible week. They've seen a Broadway show. They've had incredible training. They have learned so much. So to all the parents and caregivers out there and all the nannies who've shuffled all of everyone to all of the lessons, you've got 86 young people who are so grateful to you, and an industry that is looking forward to welcoming them when they're out of high school.
Oh my heavens. And we were talking earlier, and you've touched on this, but this is a big industry.
Yes.
And people who are all over the country watching this right now, who are young people who have aspirations, the best advice you would give them would be what?
Stay in and around the theater any way that you can. I had a teacher tell me that when I was younger, and I ushered. My first Broadway show was Rent, and when Rent started, someone came up to me and said, hey, this new show's coming to Broadway, we're looking for someone to sell merchandise. And so I sold t-shirts and hats on the opening night of Rent on Broadway. And then when the first national tour came around, who knew the show better than me? I became the dance captain, and then shortly thereafter became the associate choreographer for all the productions.
From Hawken T-shirts?
From Hawken T-shirts.
Come on.
Hats. Original Broadway.
Because you were in it.
Because I was in and around theater. I watched that show every day, and I knew it. I was so prepared for my audition. So that's proof that being around it. And as I have learned more about theater, the more I have evolved as an artist. I thought I wanted to be an actor, and then I tried choreography, and now I'm a director, and I love it. So I just keep finding different ways to tell the story. So someone on the stage who is singing now might turn out to be the next great playwright or the next incredible producer. There's so many ways to tell a story. They might be a set designer or a lighting designer or a stage manager or a company manager. There's so many components to this collaboration that makes theater.
And what do you say to all of the instructors to, tell these kids back home to buck up, who didn't make it to the Jimmy Awards, who had a dream, they still have a dream? What do you say to the instructors and the people who are giving those lessons to say to those kids? And first of all, whoever's been instructing what we've seen, you're amazing.
Congratulations.
So thank you. Yes, this was a show to watch so far.
Yes, and to all the casts, all the fellow actors and actresses who were in the show with all of these actors who are here today, you're a part of the success. You're a part of them being here, and I hope that you feel the pride of your fellow actor or actress being on stage here today. What do I say to the coaches? I'd say what you want more than anything is to teach these young actors and actresses to be themselves. And oftentimes when you are doing a show in your local high school, you're doing a show where there's a character who's a mother, and so you have the 18-year-old or the 17-year-old play the mom.
In her 50s.
Yeah, in her 50s. Right. And then she gets to New York and she realizes that she has to be young, right? Because we have old people here. So part of the instruction is to remind them to learn happy, fresh, joyful songs, remind them that they are young, vibrant people, and that's what we want to meet when we see them in auditions.
We were talking to Marianne about this. How do you get the authenticity out? And do you see it when you see it? Do you know it immediately?
I can see a faker in a heartbeat.
I mean, that's the thing too, is don't cheat the audience out of what makes you genuine, right?
Yeah, we only want the truth.
Right.
And sometimes the truth is hard. And sometimes you pick a song that's a little too close to home. So then you have to find a different truth. So all anyone wants to see is who you really are. When you go into an audition, you walk in that room and all we want to do is meet you. We want to see a wonderful, happy, joyful person, because that's who we want to work with.
That's it, right.
A super angsty, sad.
No.
There's so many hours of angsty songs. If someone comes in with a joyful song, it makes everyone happy. So that's a hint. Find some up-tempo, joyful songs.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Bring out your joy.
Yes.
To bring out your
It
joy.
makes everyone
right?
happy
It's
in
a
the
good
room.
conduit, I would think.
Yes.
I would think. Are you still having fun? We heard the ding, ding, ding. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going right back yet. The judges are still looking over things.
It's a hard decision.
It is
Those
hard.
are hard decisions.
Yeah.
I don't envy them.
How many judges? 8 in there?
8 judges,
8
yeah.
judges. These students have been living, high school students at NYU, and they have been here 7 days now,
Yes.
one entire week.
Yes.
Many of them had never been to a Broadway, I think 20% had not been to a Broadway play ever. And 3 had never been on an airplane.
And can I just say to all of the regional theaters out there, congratulations. If you are going to your road productions, if you're going to your touring productions, these young people are seeing theater in their local towns, and it is changing their lives. So thank you for going to the theater in your town. Thank you for seeing the tours.
That's
They're
it.
magnificent.
Shelley, we're looking forward to Aida. Thank you. You are the best. You're a mama. She lives in Brooklyn.
Yes.
We're going to send it back to the show. You have been a pleasure.
Thank you.
See ya.